the feeling that there is this living thing, and hence I must not cross it during my work of dharma. So Lord Krishna isn't telling him to be careless or to not have sympathy, because sympathy is one of the most important qualities of a devotee and of a good person, of a sattvic person. It is very important to be compassionate. Lord Krishna is not telling him to be evil or non-compassionate or just totally careless. Lord Krishna instead is telling him that in the duty of yours, which is to bring about dharma and to remove adharma, adharmonmulana, do not hesitate to do something that might harm the life inside a body. So the wise neither lament for the living nor for the dead. And then in this verse, Lord Krishna says that there was never a time when you or I were absent, were not present. There will never be a time, even in the future, when you or I or these kings or anyone here will cease to exist. So there will never be a time in existence when we will not exist. So we are eternal since the very beginning. Me and you are here, these kings are here, this entire situation is playing out now, but we are eternal. That is what Lord Krishna is saying.
Dehinosmin yatha dehi kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra namuhyati.
So just because the soul changes from body to body, and suddenly within the same body, just because the soul changes in form, the soul actually enters the body and the body changes in form. So the body is like a baby in the beginning, then grows little bit, becomes big, and then goes on to old age and then dies. So this is just the change in the body. The soul is never changing throughout this process. The soul is the same. So understanding this, adhira is a courageous person, a righteous person, one who is wise. The wise is not bewildered by this transformation of the body. The transformation of the body does not translate to the transformation of the soul. The soul is always the same.
Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna dukha dukkadaha agamapayino nityaha tam sitikshasva bharata.
Shitoshna sukha dukkadaha and tam sitikshasva bharata. So these things of the body which actually bind us to the material world are basically pleasure and pain. These two aspects bind us to the material world. All beings in this material world, living beings, hanker after pleasure and try to avoid pain. And our nervous systems, our entire body is crafted in such a way that we cannot escape from this Maya Jala, and the most important thing that binds us to it is pleasure on one side. We actually gravitate towards pleasure, we try to get it somehow, and for that there is desire, and if we do not get it, there is anger, there is frustration, and once we get it, there is greed, there is lobha, and in this entire cycle there is moha, there is delusion. So this is the eternal crux of the entire matter, that pleasure and pain bind us to this. And Lord Krishna says matra sparshaha, which means these are just temporary and they are born due to sense contact. Even modern biochemistry supports this view, that the nervous chemicals, the chemicals in our nervous system, the neurotransmitters, chemicals like dopamine and so many other chemicals are very important for ensuring this eternal cycle of pleasure and pain, and so on. So these are all matra sparshaha, which means they're just temporary and they are based on sense contact. Only when your senses come in contact with that object, you are enslaved by it, or you are desiring it, or you are attracted to it. Only when your senses come in contact with it. For example, if you never knew that a particular form of food existed, you wouldn't have attraction towards that form of food. Or if you never knew that a bad habit such as drinking or smoking ever existed, or if your senses never came in contact with it, you would never crave for it, nor would you even know about it. So it's only because your senses are being attached to a sense object that you are being enslaved by it. It's only because of the connection between you, your sense objects, your senses and your sense objects. It's not the connection between you and your sense objects. Hence, you are pure, you are the soul, you are pure within. It's only your sense objects that are running around, looking around for pleasure, because that's what they're made to do. They are made to enslave you within this material world.
Nasato vidyati bhavo
asat. There are some words in Sanskrit which cannot be directly translated to English. Sat is one of them. Sat means existence, it means truth also at the same time. And Sat means real also at the same time. But it's something above all these three meanings. But for now, because we're translating it in English, let's just take the meaning to be real. So the unreal has no existence. The unreal has no existence. That's very important to note. The real never ceases to exist. The real is always existing. The real does not have absence. Unreal does not have presence. The real does not have absence. That is an eternal truth of this universe. So we generally talk about many things that are not present. But just because we talk about them, it does not mean they suddenly come into presence. The unreal is always unreal and it will always remain unreal. Lies, for example, are unreal, so they'll always remain out of existence. They are never present. They are always absent.
अविनाशितु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति.
So talking about the soul, one can never destroy it. Vinasham abhyayasyasya avyaya. There is no destruction, there is no vyaya, there is no reduction. So there is no destruction, no reduction, and it's basically, you cannot change it. Hence, this soul you cannot change, is what Lord Krishna is saying. Immutable.
अन्तवन्तैवे देहाः नित्यस्योक्ताः शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत.
So the soul, which is known as the embodied, the soul is being embodied. The embodied is different from the body. So we are the souls and we are embodied within this body, which is a sheath made from the 5 elements, the Panchamahabhutas. I'm not talking about the chemical elements here, but the 5 elements. We are made from these Panchamahabhutas and hence we are embodied within them. And we, the souls, cannot be destroyed. So I am a soul and I cannot be destroyed. I'm just in this body. This body is subject to birth and death and destruction in between, reduction and destruction, all of that in between. But I am not subject to any of these changes. That's what Lord Krishna is trying to say. Do not grieve for these particular bodies because they are involved in adharma and your duty is to destroy adharma. Hence, do not hesitate just because they are bodies and they will experience pain while you destroy them, or that you will experience pain or grief after destroying them. So do not look at those things because you have to do dharma, you have to do action, and hence all of this is not your worry.
यैनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतं उभौ तौ न विजानीतः नायं हन्ति न हन्यते.
So for a warrior, the one who thinks that I am killing, or this is being killed, or he is being killed, they know not. They are ignorant people. Those who think that someone is being killed, or that I am killing somebody, they are people who are ignorant. The wise people know that nothing, the soul is not being killed here, nor is the soul killing. The soul is not involved in killing, nor is the soul being killed in both sides. So actually here what is happening is that the souls are remaining constant and the killing is happening just in the bodies, just in material nature.
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
So na jayate na mriyate. This soul is not born because it's eternal. It's been there since the beginning. So it is one with the beginning, in fact. So na jayate na mriyate. It has no birth, it has no death. Na jayate na mriyate va kadachit. So any time it does not have birth, any time it does not have death. Just the body. And Lord Krishna is repeating this important concept once again in this verse so that we can feel it. The importance is not just to read the meaning and try to get the word-to-word translation, but to feel the meaning, because you can explain the same thing in different words, but feeling it is something that requires a lot of effort, a lot of concentration, a lot of emotions, bhavana, and unless we are controlled and unless we try to understand it, we cannot feel it. Na jayate na mriyate. We are not born, we do not die. We are just entering and exiting bodies repeatedly. The next few verses make the same point.
वेदा विनाशिनं नित्यं येनमजमव्ययं कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कङ्घातति हन्तिकम्.
So, this soul is avinashi, it cannot be destroyed, and nor is it trying to destroy anyone else, nor is it destroying anyone else. It is not connected with the act of killing at all. So, how can something that is not connected with the act of killing be the cause of killing or be killed? That's what Lord Krishna is trying to say.
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णान्यन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
Vasamsi jirnani yatha. So, how we just change our clothes every day. This is a very beautiful analogy, and it's used to explain to many charvakas and nihilists who believe that this body is the beginning of everything, and once this body is dead, everything is dead, your existence ends. There is such a kind of philosophy even now in the modern time as well as in the ancient time. This philosophy has been growing in a parallel manner during the period when the Vedic thought was in decline. People were moving out of delusion, and at that time this atheism came into picture, and certain sects of people began to think that this existence begins and just ends, and after that everything is over. So Lord Krishna is trying to say in this verse that the soul has neither beginning nor end nor destruction in any manner.
नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः न शोषयति मारुतः.
So since the soul changes from body to body just as we change clothes every day, when they become out of wear and tear, we have to change the clothes. In the same way, the souls have to change the bodies because the bodies are impermanent. Such is the nature of material nature. It's impermanent. Hence, you cannot stay in that body for longer because that body is subject to wear and tear. Just like a cloth, a piece of cloth that you wear, you can't keep wearing it for eons together. It has to go through a material process of wear and tear. Similarly, the body also goes through that process, and hence the wise do not lament for it. So, nainam chindanti shastrani, weapons can't cut the soul. Nainam dahati pavakaha, the fire can't burn the soul. And then water cannot moisten the soul. It cannot be destroyed by water. Like how the body can be burnt by fire, the body can be cut by weapons, the body can be moistened in water. If the body is deposited in water after death, it will eventually disintegrate after being moistened. And if the body is exposed to the wind constantly, the body will dry out. It'll be dehydrated, shoshyati, as they say in Sanskrit. So the body is subject to all of these things, but the soul is not subjected. We have to feel these explanations.
अच्छेद्योयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतस्थाणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः.
The same meaning is repeated. Nitya sarvagata sthanaho. It is permanent. Nitya, the soul is nitya. Same point previously. Sarvagata sthanaho achaloyam sanatanaha. It is everywhere, and at the same time it does not move anywhere. Sarvagataha sthanaho achaloyam sanatanaha. It is eternal, and it is everywhere, yet it does not move anywhere. Hence the soul, this soul, is not just something that is present inside us, but is everywhere. And at the same time, it is not moving places. It is not moving. It is there and it is everywhere.
अव्यक्तोऽयम् अचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयम् उच्यते तस्मादेनं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि.
This soul is avyakta, it is unmanifested. Manifestation comes into picture when material nature is involved. You need the material nature to manifest something within material nature. That is the five Panchamahabhutas, ego. All of this is required to bring something manifested in material nature. But the soul is unmanifested. It is from the spiritual world. It does not require material nature, and it is not manifested. It is just enclosed, it is just embodied in body. So it is stuck in material nature, but it is not part of material nature. That is the point that is trying to be made here. And we need to understand this. We need to try to understand this. And the point is avyakta. It is unmanifest.
अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि.
So now Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that even if you are subject to the nihilist view, in which you feel that once the body is born, it is born. So every time a body is born, existence is born. So in case you don't believe in the concept of the soul that I just mentioned, Lord Krishna says, in case you don't believe in that concept, you feel that the body just begins and then after it ends, everything has ended. So many people even today believe in that. They just want to enjoy life because they feel once death comes into picture, everything is gone and existence ends. So enjoy life till it is. They feel they are life and they feel they are the body, and once the body is over, their story is over. So let's just enjoy life and do whatever we want. We don't care. As long as we're not caught by the police or something, the modern law system, we can do whatever we like. So that is what they believe in. They believe in going after pleasure and avoiding pain. This is not just a modern view. This is an ancient view. It has been coming since the ancient times. It's called the Charvakas. Charvakas means those who speak charu, which means something that is pleasant to hear. So if someone tells you just go and enjoy, that's very pleasant to hear. Just enjoy your life till it is there. Many people say this regularly. Just enjoy life till it's there. So Lord Krishna is trying to warn us of such views, but at the same time, in a wielded warn, he is telling Arjuna, even if you believe it that way, why care for the body? While performing dharma, you have to perform dharma, and if this body dies, the story ends there. So why even care about it? So even from that point of view, you don't need to care about it.
जातस्यै ध्रुवोर्मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्ममृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि.
Yes, so as per material nature as well, and even if you think the soul is not present, since the body is born, it has to die. Even modern science, of course, has to accept this fact that anything that's born has to die. And that includes entire planets, entire worlds, anything that has come into being has to go to destruction. That's the law of material nature. Whereas in the